Cameron's always been, his life has been centered around music. Always, ever since I can remember. He had a good growing up. Not a tough one, but not an easy one. I think he's going to make well in the rap music. He's been in it long enough now, and he showed what talent he has.
What's the deal? What's the deal? What's the deal? Oh shit. Hey Flip, I gotta get dressed.
Man, you getting the interview for the Big Swift documentary.
Yeah, alright.
The documentary of Big Swift, the Southeast P. It's like the Little Boozy documentary.
Meet the Southeast P, better known as Big Swift. Hailing from the southeast of LA, Downey to be exact, Big Swift could be described as an artist, businessman, or all-around entrepreneur. Although some of you may just now be hearing his name, Swift could tell you that he started laying the groundwork long ago.
I started making music when I was like 10, but not really making music. I was with my cousins rapping. And it really got, I'd say like 14, 15, I started like having some like I was like okay at it. Like the homies started noticing, like my cousins started noticing, oh, you could rap, bro, like you're pretty good, you feel me? And when you like 14, you getting into high school, you kind of want to be like cool, you like everybody has a niche, like everybody's doing something in high school, you feel me? Like niggas play football, niggas do things, you feel me? So I was like, man, like I kind of want to be a rapper, like, and I just started saying I was a rapper. I started just telling niggas, like, my name was Cameron Small, you feel me? But it wasn't like a Swift, like nobody was like, oh yeah, you're Swift, like, and I got blessed with that name. I literally was like, I'm Big Swift. And then like the homies started making fun of me, like, oh, this nigga thinks he's Big Swift, like, Big Swift head ass nigga. And then out of nowhere, like that shit just stuck when I was like 14, 15. I was not taking it serious. Like, who takes anything serious at 14, you feel me? You're just like a fucking kid, literally. Like, you're just a kid, Just like fucking ideas, grandeur, just like, big ideas, you feel me? But I didn't really take it seriously, honestly, till I was like 21.
We took a trip down to the southeast to speak with Swift's family and friends, and got some more insight in his past.
It's Big Swift, right here at my grandma's house, where I spent a lot of my years, grew up, you feel me? A lot of love here, you feel me? It's like kind of where people know me to be from. So, yeah.
Frito-Lay variety packs. Packed with possibilities.
This is my mom right here. This is my mom right here. My uncle. It's my tia, my uncle Rocky, and my tia Bango. My uncle. My grandma passed like 4 years ago, and this was really like her. Like I come here to see my grandma. Like I've always loved my uncle, my grandpa. He's always been a rock for me. But this is really like my nanny's pad. This was like that's how I referred it to. So like. Since her passing, it's been, it's different for me being here, it's a lot, I don't pop up as much or whatever the case is, I still try to come by, but just growing up with my grandma's like influence being here, it was nothing like it, like this room would be filled up with something, just some type of energy, if my grandma was here. Either she'd like you guys here or she wouldn't. She'd make you guys feel it though, either or, so that's like my grandma being around was super, super important to me. Like, that's my brother, my sister. This just like has a lot to do with like just the foundation of who I am, and I'd really say my nanny has everything to do with it, Shit, too many memories. Like my pops kicked me out, so I was out here at my sister's and my grandma's for a few days, just thugging it, going back and forth. He wanted me home, right? So this nigga pulls up. And when I say we had a full chase down, like a full chase, like I ran around these villages. I ran all the way through. I went to the Downey Promenade. I had to hide behind some like trash cans behind Best Buy. And my dad's over here circling around the neighborhood looking for me. I had to be like 15, 14, running away, one of those shit. So there's so many memories that I was fucking.
Is that when he chased you down the street?
Yeah, he was chasing me down the street. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh, you saw that?
Yeah.
I'm standing right where I'm standing watching.
Yeah, nigga, I was out of here. I was like, I was a bad little kid, so yeah. My uncle Emilio was definitely the cool uncle. Like, he was the wild. He was the uncle who picked me up after school in the Jeep with my cholo cousin, and like take me to like just random places I probably shouldn't be. Like, pull up to like, you know, some cholo house named Becca, like, oh, we're gonna pull it right here to drop off something. And, you know, he was just one of those uncles. He was like definitely the cool uncle. You feel me? A lot of shit with him, for real. We're on the east side right now. It's my motherfucking, it's Lil EBT's crib right now. Can't give away too much, but this the crib right here. You feel me? Shit. I'm from Downey. I'm from the southeast, but like a lot of like where I get a lot of like my energy, a lot of culture is really from the east side. Like that's really where I spend a lot of days. Summer times, a lot of like my first partying, making out with girls like in backyards, like it was all up and down these streets. So this is basically why I took y'all here. Oh, the way. This is my primo right here. My big Theo, Lil EBT. You feel me?
What's up, y'all? Been riding for a minute. You already know.
Day one. You feel me?
Yeah.
So what's you guys' relationship?
This is my brother. Like it's literally like
family right there.
Like slept like this on this. This is my brother.
We hopped in the car with Swift and EBT and took a tour of the city that played a big influence in Swift's young life.
So like y'all see how close down, like it says Mariano. Sick ass fools. Nah, it's like right here. So this is like the Montebello side. Like this is like this is the side we would walk. This is like the only side my grandpa would let us like kind of walk to. He'd like be like, oh, you guys can go this way, you know? Cause like you'll just see the dramatic change in like one street. Right now. You'll be like, oh, okay, I get what you mean. Yeah. That shit changes up real fast.
The houses don't look the same.
Like nothing looks the same. But it's literally the same block. Like, yeah, these are like this street right here. This is like classic field we'd always walk through right here. This is basically my grandpa's backyard. That's like my grandpa's house right there.
But yeah, this is like these fields are like known for like just people like tweaking and shit. Like niggas tweaking and like.
Yeah, Lil EBT could definitely explain it a little bit more because it's definitely like his main block. So right here on Brady, this is where you stayed till like.
I stayed from freshman year,
senior year type shit right here.
Yeah, right here.
This spot right here?
Yeah, this
spot
right
right
here.
It's a little bit crazy right now.
Yeah, there's a lot. My grandpa definitely kept the yard up. He didn't bullshit like that.
Yeah, there's like a lot of these houses. Like you'll see like just mad people living in there. Like what the fuck?
Man, but yeah, like this is definitely like a little area like we were always in. That's my grandpa's block right here, Brady. And this was this house right here. This was always the little spoiled nigga from the block's house right here.
Yeah, he's
and then this was my grandpa's house right here back in the day when we were in middle school. They made it way nicer right here. But like yeah, that was my grandpa's house right there and shit like. And that was like this is where like we'd get off and we'd go to the taco man like down the street. There used to be a bunch of taco trucks off Whittier right here. We used to walk and get tacos from my grandpa. Just do shit like that. It's like a lot of little kid shit. This is like real like young. Like this is like where like honestly first spot where I was sleeping and like the fucking helicopter would come shake the fucking house. Like you'd be asleep and it would just be like I wake up and like this nigga's already used to it. I'm looking at this nigga like what the fuck's going on? Nigga like what the fuck earthquake or something? Like nah, it's the fucking police. Like it's like real little kid shit. Like real. Like I'm talking like 5, 6, 7, you know, like little kid shit. Like so yeah, this is like the east side of me. Like I have a lot of love for East LA, just in general. You feel me? And a lot of people don't really know that about me because I'm real like 5'6", eccentric. You feel me? Like real. That's where I'm centered at.
Got my pipe with me. If a bitch spend the night with me, she gon' slide with me. Don't lie to me, just ride with me. Yeah. Whoa, more at what I said, I gotta ride with my pistol, yeah. Pop a perk with my bitch though. Oh, she gon' suck on this dick though. You gon' pop this perk with me, yeah. You gon' put in work for me.
Yeah, he was really funny. Fucking outgoing. I always thought he could be like an actor or some shit, some type of actor, you know. Fucking, he could always rap. Like this is like the person like I trust with like music. Like he always like every time I kick it with him, he's always listening to something new. Like he got some new shit.
You do way too much. I need a light skin. Pussy taste good like some rice. Roadhead while I'm driving.
Okay, we in the southeast. You feel me? This is Downey, California, you feel me? We're actually in North Downey. It's like the nicest side of Downey, you feel me? So, my mom stayed down the block right here. So, like, this is where really niggas got, like, you feel me? I just hang out right here. It's where Rosecrans Vic first pulled up on me and gave me a Rosecrans shirt and told me he wanted to interview me. It's like, I used to like bring all the homies from the south side of the city over here to hang out because I used to like really be on that end. So, but this is like my little hangout. This is like high school shit, young nigga shit, you feel me? The donor shop lady. I used to go like change my coins, charge my phone, feel me? Ditch school, all that shit. That was like right here, you feel me? Come right here, chill at the donor shop for a couple hours, charge my phone, figure out where everybody's at, and pull up on them, you know?
We learned a lot about young Swift by coming out and visiting people and places that helped shape him. In those days, Swift might have told you that he was on the right path. It wasn't until he ran into some trouble that he realized his focus needed to be reevaluated.
I can't really talk about the case too much because literally like I'm fighting a case, so I can't really talk about it too much. But I think I just had the realization when I was sitting in jail, you know, and I was just like, I would like, you feel me? Like I got so much family in jail, I got so much loved ones. One of my best friends in prison, you feel me? My best uncle in prison. Like I have so much people in prison I love and like, you know, I'll kill for. But like I can never see myself in there, you feel me? And that's real. Like, you know, I'm sitting in there and I'm seeing the type of people and like everything is like it's like I'm sitting there and niggas don't even know who they're sitting next to, and that hurt me. You feel me? I'm having like to humble myself, you know, because I'm in here. Like I'm not out in the streets. I'm not Big Swift. I'm not in the Southeast. I'm not the nigga with the trap. I'm just whatever number these niggas gave me right now. Whatever the fuck is going on. I'm eating whatever the fuck is going on, you know? So when I had that realization, like me, like I'm not a jail baby. I'm not one of the niggas who like getting locked up as a little baby boy and all that. You feel me? So like me as a grown man, like you gotta say yourself straight. You gotta like prioritize. You gotta like, you know, really like focusing on what, like you just focus on, I realized I know what I want to do. I'm a grown man, you know, so having that time thinking like, damn, what do I want to do? Make music, you know, take care of my family, be with my bitch. Like that was like the three things that were just constantly in my head when I was in, you know, like that kept me sane. That I was like, I'm a bed, everything's, you know, decent to a certain extent, and these are the things I'm gonna focus on. I thought I was like, you know, I thought I was gonna get signed by a label. I thought I was like flying out to Japan next week or something, you know, as a little ass kid, you know. But you get to realize that shit is nothing. You feel me? All that shit is nothing. You really have to build yourself up as an artist and like become something. So like at 17, 18, when I first had like my little small local like success in high school, because it's magnified in high school. You feel me? Like everything you do is magnified. So like you have a homie that gets 10,000 plays on a song. He's popping. Like he got, you know. He's out here, you feel me? Like, so, that, I mean, that's how I met Cali and Vic, too. They heard of me through those records, you feel me, when I was in high school.
Bro, Swift was wild boy, Xanax and drugs.
So you said his focus at the time, was it fully on music, or was it kind of all over the place?
It was scattered, but he thought he was focused on music, so, but he was very scattered. I feel like as we all mature, you know, we were like, yo, okay, you think you're giving 100%, so you actually give 100%, you know? And yeah, he was very scatterbrained, just not in a bad way, but more like I need to get money and I need to make my career and I need to let people know that Big Swift is here to stay. Like that's kind of where his brain has always been, like that, and taking care of family and close friends. That's it. He cares about his health now. Super on it, works out 2-3 times a day, eats right. Business wise, I've seen him mature like crazy, because now like I kind of handle the business side of things, and before it would all be up to me, and now he's like, okay, like this is what I think, or you know, and this is what we should do, or this is the plan I have, which he never used to do before. Now like he's like, okay, I gotta get this shit done, if not me, who?
And he was, I think, still in high school at the time. But I heard his music through a mutual friend, and I thought he was dope. And I figured, you know, invite him up to, you know, to the radio station. It was still like, you know, very early in my career, and I met him. He was cool, and we kind of just, you know, built a relationship after that. Man, he's done like a 180 in a lot of ways. You know, earlier this year, I feel like he kind of reached a point where he was doing too much. You know, he was just doing way too much, and he got into some trouble, and it kind of just made him realize his ways. Like, oh shit, like I can't be doing shit like that. I gotta focus on what's important, you know, because he has all the opportunity in the world in front of him, and he's starting to realize it again. You know, like, oh shit, like I can't wait. You know, he just turned 24. He's getting older. He's just like, yeah, nah, like I need to really, you know, start handling a lot more of my responsibilities and be on my shit. And it's been really dope to watch. Like, he's lost hella weight. He's like, you know, eating healthy. He'd be getting on my head like, you know, those aren't really healthy on you for you, my boy. Like, just because you put strawberries on your French toast, like, and it's dope to watch. You know what I mean? Because when Swift's into something, he's fully into it. You know, so his thing now is, you know, just like health and eating better and living better and like exercising, and he's like fully committed, and it's bleeding over into like the other aspects of his life. Like, he ain't on no bullshit. He's in the studio almost, you know, every day recording or shooting a video. He's really not wasting any time.
Cali and Vic's statements regarding Swift's newfound demeanor were noticeable. His motivation and focus were apparent when talking about his music and business. He took us to the Southeast P headquarters where his products are packaged, as well as a studio where we watched them work alongside his longtime producer and engineer, whom we were able to speak with.
When I first met him, that's all he used to talk about, is like wanting to have his own tree and wanting to have his own strain and you know, doing shows out of state, and like now we do that shit, you know, now he does that. So it's definitely like I seen everything come into existence, you know, everything he spoke is really coming into life. So I knew it was gonna happen. It's just a matter of time, you know.
So you can say that Swift's a guy that follows through on the things that he.
Oh yeah, most definitely. That's for sure probably one thing we have in common. Like, I feel that's probably why we so, like, our energy's always matched, you know, because I got to match his energy when he comes to the studio, and he's got to match mine. And if I'm not willing to work as hard as he is, then we just not going to get anywhere, you know, and it's vice versa. So for sure, like, he's definitely somebody, he says he's going to do something, he's going to get it done. Whether, like, he asks for help or not, he usually gets his shit done by himself, really. So he moves his shit, he does what he has to do to get shit done. I'm Z-God, I own the Z Room, produce records, mix records, been engineering for a long ass time. Cali just hit me, he's like, yo, I got this artist and I'm trying to find him like an engineer, someone that he could kind of work and build with. And so they sent me a record to mix, and it was a dope record. I think it was produced by one of the homies, I think. And yeah, it was just like a cool record. I kind of knew him from two different people at that point. That's one thing that kind of like I liked about working with Swift, was that he was trying to experiment and try new things, and I'm always for that. And so yeah, that's what it was like artists I could kind of push so that I could also increase my skills, you know.
From a Southeast LA kid to an artist and entrepreneur, Big Swift has shown us that no matter the obstacles placed in front of him, he will overcome. And according to not only himself, but the people around him, his journey is far from over.
I mean, I've never stopped believing in him. You know, I've always felt like he can be really big.
Yeah.
So I'm proud, bro. Like, I'm really proud. Like, I can never be prouder, like, because that's my bro. Like, that's like the closest person to me.
Swift is an entertainer, so we're gonna take over the music and we're gonna have fun with that, and we're gonna grow his brand with that. But he's an entertainer, so for sure, acting, comedy, skits, whatever, writer. Swift is really like knowledgeable in music and literature. He's a great writer. Like, he reads a lot. Like, you don't trust. I know him and I'm like, nah, you didn't read that. I'm like, yeah, you did. Like, you know, after like he reads a lot. Like, and like he's literally like the people around him and like I feel like are helping bring out the best in him. Some people, you know, some people bring out the bad in him, but a lot, like, he's getting closer to the people who are bringing out better, and like I'm excited to see his business move, because he's learning so much, and he's like not starting, but you know, he's been touch bread, but now he's starting to touch like real bread, to where he could do stuff and like he's not fucking it off, and that's really dope to see, because usually when people touch money that could change your life, they fuck it off. Like he's not, so, you know.
I'm his uncle. I think Cam's always been talented in what he's doing, because he was always questioning. He had a lot of questions, you know, to be answered, and just happy that he's doing what he wants to do, that makes him happy. If he's happy, I'm happy, and you know, I just want to see him get wealthy and rich on it.
I'm Cameron's uncle or grandfather. I'm sorry. Cameron's always been his life has been centered around music. Always, ever since I can remember. He had a good growing up. Not a tough one, but not an easy one. I think he's gonna make well in the rap music. He's been in it long enough now, and he showed what talent he has. We're real proud of him, and I think he's gonna do real good.
You gon' probably perk with me, yeah. You gon' put in work for me, yeah. Look on your knees, make it squirt for me, yeah. Look, you gon' hurt for me, yeah. You gon' probably perk with me, yeah. Look, you gon' put in work for me, yeah. Look on your knees, make it squirt for me, yeah. Look, you gon' hurt for me, yeah. You gon' probably perk.